Hey, when I was first recording this, I didn't have the chance to record an English language introduction, so this is a video about my 1965 Chevy Impala and how it feels to drive a 55-year-old, 20-foot-long Detroit pinnacle of engineering, and how does it feel through European perspective. Thank you and enjoy. Here we go. Boom. I don't know if you can actually hear this, but this car makes all sorts of interesting noises. Ladies and gentlemen, a 1965 Chevy Impala. Let's see if my GoPro fell out. Nope, still there. We good. Alright. Making a U-turn in this thing. It's almost a 20 feet long car, and it's in a shorter coupe version. Two-door hardtop is an interesting challenge. It's a beautiful Saturday after Thanksgiving. It's very sunny, about 50 degrees, maybe 55. We're gonna take this baby up on Route 6 and see how it feels. 1965 Impala. Yeah, baby, let's do it! I wonder if you can hear the engine. It sounds amazing. It's actually nothing special. It's a pretty run-of-the-mill 283 disguised as a 327 with two glass packs on it. It actually sounds pretty awesome, makes it hard to hear anything. Doing about 50 miles per hour. Feels like we're speeding, but everybody is just passing us on Route 6, giving us extremely weird looks. Or maybe dirty looks? I don't know. I'm sure they're jealous. I'm sure I'm like the slowest grandpa moving car, but definitely one that looks the most awesome on the road right now. Woo! It's absolutely gorgeous. It's almost a shame we have to put it away for the winter sometime tomorrow, but we're definitely gonna go on one last ride. It's supposed to be even nicer than it is today. So we'll see how that goes. Hey, look at that guy. Feels absolutely amazing. Got some new front disc brakes on this puppy. We can actually, I feel that we can now actually stop in time. When we first got it, it was a lot of let's break and pray on this a little bit. I keep thinking what would be the best way to talk about this car to show how unbelievably happy I feel every time I drive this thing. And you know, it's not a show car, it's not a perfect concours grade 95-point car. At the best is a slightly nicely looking driver, I think. Well, maybe a little better because I fixed quite a few things since I managed to get it, but it was a joy then, even though sometimes a little bit scary, and it's even more joy now. And I hope I get to enjoy it for a couple more seasons, if not more, if we continue to make it better and more perfect. And like a friendly mechanic said, this is a car that has a lot of potential, and let's hope we can bring a lot of this potential out. I guess the only thing scary about this car is, you know, like things do happen. The scariest part is probably damaging it to get any nicks of it, even though, like I said, it's not a concours car. It's not a perfect car, it's still a nice car. It would be a shame to lose all that happiness. I keep thinking if overheating will be an issue, even with a rebuilt radiator, which is one of the things I fixed it to make it a nicer driver. Is the older radiator was horribly rusted, although somewhat still not leaking. Maybe the rust was acting as your nature's sealant. So we actually had the original radiator rebuilt. It was a bit more pricey than getting a new aluminum radiator, but You know, I like having this car to be a mix of mostly original components, or like original components. I mean, I do have a few reproductions on there, so far so good. I wonder how it will do in an 80 or 90 degree heat, but you know, we've been driving it I think at about 70 when we had a very warm weekend a couple of weeks ago. Did great. Although I don't actually have a temperature gauge, I only have idiot lights, as in I only know if the car is hot or cold, but it's usually enough. (1965) Chevy Impala, the pride and joy of American engineering from a different era, when cars were made for real people, not just for Mr. and Mrs. We need a ton of electronics. Look at the lines on this baby. 1965, a brand new design, completely revolutionary styling. Although a lot of mechanics remain the same. One of the most breakthrough features on this car is actually what's underneath. General Motors switched from an X-frame car frame design, because yes, those cars are still body on frame. They switched to actual, more of a modern frame design that offered more strength and safety. All right. So let's dive in a little bit. Let's look on the inside. Except the carpet and the headliner, this is mostly original. Look at this. It's absolutely beautiful. Fluffy dice were not part of the original equipment. Look at that. Looks absolutely gorgeous. Bench seats in front. Nice old school odometer. The steering wheel is actually aftermarket. It's not an original steering wheel. And one of my favorite features in this car, courtesy lights are not actual dome lights. It's in the back, the sail panels of the car, which is kind of cool. Factory standard ashtrays in the back. We have a very cool ashtray in the front, and a working lighter if you want to smoke up on those drives through town. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna smoke even in cigar in this guy. Look at the dashboard. They don't make them like this anymore. I wish instead of an idiot lights like hot, cold, generator, oil, it had more detailed readings, but hey, you know, this was supposed to be the car to enjoy, it's not worried about. The radio is not original, it's a replica that kind of maybe almost fits. Doesn't work. I think it was put in about 2003 by one of the previous owners. It doesn't work. And one of my favorite features of vintage cars, a dashboard clock. Sadly, the clock doesn't work. It looks absolutely gorgeous, but a lot of those clocks were actual clocks that were supposed to be maintained and cleaned and serviced, and 98% of the owners never did. If they stopped working, they just remained a decoration that looks good, doesn't work. How gorgeous this is. This is a joy to sit in. Much more joyful and actually just as comfortable as some of my modern cars. Let's shut it off for a second. Let's look at the trunk of this car. It's sadly full of junk because, you know, this isn't my go-to town vehicle. This is something that I use to have some fun on the weekends and get away. I mean, let my family to rest a little bit from me. Look at the trunk. I swear to God, you can probably fit 1.5 adult bodies in there. If it was a 4-door, it would be a great mafia car. Let's start the engine again, and we're gonna see how it sounds on camera a little bit. I hope you can hear the exhaust. Let's see how it goes. So let's look under the hood of this car. We have a classic 283 Detroit engine. No electronics on this puppy. Looks absolutely gorgeous and works even better. Here is the rebuilt radiator I was talking about. One of my least favorite moments when driving this car, sometimes we drive the speed limit. Oh my god, imagine that. Because I don't know if I mentioned it, sometimes even doing like 40-50 miles an hour, and this car feels like, you know, doing some kind of warp 3 speed. I get people tailgating me all the time, usually in some kind of a middle of the road, an expensive and sensible Japanese sedan. Apparently, you know, that is a license to, like, I'm gonna be a speed demon and I will tailgate you because you're only driving 45 in a 45 mile an hour speed limit. But anyway, I don't like those people. On a brighter note, today is almost the last day of the long after Thanksgiving weekend. I hope everybody had a good time, that you get the time to spend with your families and maybe drive the car you enjoy, just like I enjoyed this 1965 Impala. If you'd like to find out more about this car or any of the fun adventures we're surely bound to have enjoying and maintaining this piece of automotive history, let me know. Bleep bloop the comments and let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you think something was horrible, let me know. If you think something was good about it, please also let me know. And otherwise, thank you, and I hope to see you around.